It was a cold winter's night on the island of Sodor. All the engines were busy during this time of the year. Edward and Henry were busy taking the last of their passenger runs for the night. The snowstorm was expected, and everyone was busy. Sir Tom Met and the other controllers were having a meeting at the station. They were just about to leave to head home. "Well, gentlemen," said Sir Topham Hatt, "this is going to be very nasty. A snowstorm is expected, and we are expected to meet up with my mother and my wife at Suddery." "Well, I certainly hope so," said Mr. Percival. "I don't want to be late." "We all do not want to be late," said Mr. Duncan. "Agreed," said the small controller. They all piled into Sir Topham Hatt's car, as it was the only car available, and they made it through the night. "Oh, this is going to be so exciting." "Oh, I know it is." "Tell me about it. What a year we've had." "Indeed. We'll just take our time to get through this snow and get to the station." Unfortunately, they didn't make it. Slippery roads caused poor visibility. The snow began to pile higher and higher. But then there was trouble. "I can't stop!" They slipped off the road and neared a tree. They were inches from crashing into the tree. "Bother! Now we're never going to get out of here." Sir Tom had tried to reverse out of the snow, but the slippery tires could not grip. They were stranded. "We're stuck. One of us should go and phone for help." "No. It's too risky in this cold weather. I suggest that I call on my cell." Sir Tom did, but there was no reception because of the weather. "Oh, bother, bother! Now we're stuck, for certain. We might be here until spring." "Now, let's not say that. Man. What a predicament we are in, gentlemen." "Yes, you're quite right, sir." "Oh boy. You're right, Topham. We could be stuck here to the end. How are we going to survive? I don't know." "Man, it just reminds me so much," said Mr. Percival, "of how earlier this year, how Andreas saved Stanley and Smudger from his little predicament there. Oh boy. Thank goodness Andreas learned his lesson." "I know that. I was there that day." "Now he's helping with the goods train and the mine work. Well, and pastors, no less. Ugh." "Oh, I know," said Mr. Duncan. "I know how you feel. All my engines on the railway are just particularly busy. I mean, I remember one spring where Mike was helping carry some emergency ballast for some road work. Oh boy, that had to be done in a jiff. Thank goodness Mike learned his lesson after having not to, not using his whistle." "You're quite right there, Mr. Duncan." "Indeed," said the small controller. "What can we do?" Mr. Percival got out and tried to push out of the snow, but it didn't work. He got back in, he was cold. Ugh. Let's not do that. Reminds me of how Jake, our newcomer, decided to almost accidentally crash into Farmer Finney. Thank goodness he got the passengers delivered on time. You're right there. But I mean, Jake is a nice addition. I remember seeing him. Thank goodness for that. If only we had some sort of Christmas miracle to get out of here." "You're right. We need to think of something." All controllers stopped for a moment. But then Sir Tom reflected. "That reminds me of how last year Thomas braved through snow to get the Christmas tree to Nafford on time with the Christmas party. It was a massive success, and everyone cheered into the night." "Oh, yes indeed, my friend. Yes indeed." All controllers reflected on their little stories and how they would get out, but then they could hear a voice from outside. "Hello there!" It was Butch the breakdown truck. He was making his way back home. his driver spoke. Fancy seeing you in the snow? Oh my. Well, we'll get you out of here. Don't worry, I shall be over there in a jiff. Butch's driver got out and blazed salt around the car. Sir Topham was pleased. Alright, you can do it now, Topham. Sir Topham restarted his car and was able to grip the rails, or should I say grip the road, and reverse back close to where Butch was waiting for them. We did it! Thank you! You're welcome, and I fancy you'll calmly need some service at the garage. All controllers agreed and piled into Butch. The snow was getting dark. The evening was getting darker. But at Suddery Station, the engines were preparing a rescue party. Lady Hat and Dowager Hat were so worried they had to stand at a hotel to calm their feelings. Bert from the bus assured everything would be alright. Ah, my goodness, said Thomas. What a night! I hope Sir Topham alright. We hope all the controllers are alright, said Toby. Things can happen at this time of the year, especially getting lost in the snow. The coaches, Annie, Clarabelle, and Henrietta, had to agree. They knew something was up. But then, they could see Butch with Sir Topham car. They roared down the hill and made it to the platform. Here I am, said Butch, with Sir Topham's car in tow. The controllers got out of Butch. My, what a magical evening. Here's your friends, here's the controllers, and your car will be needed in the garage. But then they heard a familiar whistle. Puffing towards the engines was Croven. He was back.
Surprised to see me, sir.
The engines could not believe what they were seeing. Sir Topham was amazed. Helen blushed and nearly cried. 87546! exclaimed Sir Topham. Oh, I should say Croven. But how? You sacrificed yourself defeating Alfred.
Let's just say someone gave me a second chance at life.
And Croven began to explain all the details of how he got rebuilt and revived after he sacrificed himself to defeat Alfred back in the summer this year.
Indeed, sir. We would not want
when he finished, the engines cheered and celebrated. They were happy for their friend to be back. Welcome back, Croven, my friend. It's nice to have you.
It's good to be
Oh, indeed.
back.
Soon, all the controllers piled into Helen, and Croven made his way into the dark night. The controllers reflected on their interesting evening as Croven made his way to the station. They knew they had a miracle on Suddery Street.